there was a lot of pain, a lot of situations I wish didn't happen with my dad growing up. But I do think of him every day, and I miss him every day, and I still find myself wishing I could grab my phone and call him. He passed away almost 16 years ago, and his disease, it took him, But the conversations that my dad and I had about Jesus got easier over the years, and they got better, and they got more comfortable. And underneath my dad's pillow when they found him was a half pint of peach brandy and a Bible that my Uncle Joe had given him years before. And so I believe that I will see my dad again in paradise. I believe it. And I can't believe I get to do this and get to talk about people. And it's an honor, because I don't care where it is. I don't care if it's playing the biggest venue in the world or the other side of the world or someone's living room. It's an honor. I love to get to do it, and I can't believe this is the life that God allows me to live. So I'm going to play one more song, and I'm just going to hang out for a bit, and then I'm going to drive to Laramie, Wyoming. Before I play one last song, could you please, there was only one question asked, so there has to be something else. So think of a question real quick.
He's got one.
What do you got, Zach?
What is your favorite animal?
What's your favorite animal?
Who asked that?
Zach.
Zach, I don't know if you're going to believe it. I get a huge kick out of ducks. I think ducks are really funny.
Penguins.
Yeah, he likes penguins.
Is that your duck?
I have a lot of friend ducks down the street.
That's cool.
I just think they're funny. Like, I think they have so much attitude. Like,
That's cool. He likes ducks.
they're cool. I mean, they dive underwater and stuff. It's awesome. Yeah, in the back.
My brother's Saya. We call him Side Duck, and yeah, he does have a lot of attitude.
Could you say that one more time slower?
Enunciate.
Enunciate.
What did you say?
So my brother, his name's Josiah. We call him Side Duck, and yeah, he has attitude.
Side duck? So he has a toot as well, huh? Side duck. Is that who's laying on the floor right now?
No, that's just my son. Keep going.
You're Side duck? That's cool. It's a good name. Side duck. Anything else before I play another song? Yes.
I'm Terry's favorite sister. My name's Angie.
Hi.
Out of all the people that you've had a chance to minister to and influence, what's one of the coolest stories that by your music and by your word that you influenced somebody and they've shared it with you? What's like just a cool story that somebody you've influenced?
I think that's a hard question, because so often, like, you try not to take yourself very seriously in that situation, because it would be easy to start to think you're something that you're not. And I guess anytime that someone says that a song kind of changed their perception of something, I think that's really cool. But I mean, there's been people who are like, your song Promise saved my life, and like that's a big deal, and because that song is nothing special. Like, the lyrics are, things will get better, this I promise you. You won't feel this way forever. That's the only thing about that song that you're like, totally, yeah. But it's a common phrase that people latched onto. But yeah, probably Promise, they say that a lot. The song Through It All, they say it a lot. But
Yeah, just so you know, you said to tell people. I'm telling you that when I was going through that, the Through It All was probably one of my favorite songs. I listened to it over and over again, and when I'd work out or shoot hoops or whatever, I just or in the car, I'd just scream out. The lyrics are amazing on that song, and so thank you.
Okay, I know what song I'm playing. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, again.
Yeah.
What is your favorite color?
It's not technically a color, but it's black.
No, one of my students in class likes black, and
Yeah, black. I like black. I would say any color that shows up in a sunrise or sunset is my favorite, because I feel like that's when God speaks to me the loudest. And it's cool because I'm out of the way, Anyone else?
What kind of guitar is that?
This is a Paul Reed Smith. Never thought that I would have one, but God worked miracles. And so, yeah, I have 3 now.
Sounds amazing.
It's a great guitar. And I don't like it that on the way in you said you went to college for music, because there's nothing more intimidating than someone who knows what they're doing with music.
You know what you're doing.
Hey,
I
Matt.
just-
Do you have a question?
Carly had a question.
I did.
Yeah.
Aside from his sister, you would be the second Christian rock artist I've listened to. So I'm going to start a playlist. Who would you recommend I add? Who do you like listening to? I'll add.
And you
them.
want rock? You want rock?
Yes, kind of.
Do you want chill stuff or like you're gonna go work out and lift weights?
I'm going to go save the world. No, just kidding. The kind of music that just uplifts you. Like,
Definitely mercy.
oh, okay, then I have listened to that.
Unspoken.
That's unspoken.
I really
I
like.
just said unspoken. That's all this is.
They're great.
Outspoken and unspoken.
Yeah.
Unspoken is great.
Yeah, I'd like to know too your top
Yeah, like
5
your favorite.
bands
Who's your
in the
favorite?
Christian area.
I love Rich Mullins. Rich Mullins. I would never attempt to play one of his songs. I wouldn't want to screw it up. I really like Rich Mullins. I really like Hillsong United. I really like Brandon Lake. I really like Phil Wickham. I like Mercy Me a lot. And then you get more rock type bands. I really like the band Disciple. I think they're great. They're great people. I think every person who's ever listened to Christian music, they have at least started to try to listen to Skillet. Skillet's great. But yet there's all kinds of people in the world that do not love Jesus that love Skillet. Another band I really like is Thrice. They're not a Christian band, but Dustin is, and he writes a lot of stuff that are parallel with Scripture. So Thrice is great. I like Wage War if I was looking for pretty aggressive music. Living Sacrifice is one of my favorite heavy bands. I love U2, and it's just what's so cool about Draper is that stage. What is it, an aquarium now? What is it? I take a picture of that. I took 3 pictures of it today. I have 100 pictures of it. I don't know what my problem is, but I love that. Oh, by the way, I also, the van that I have, I bought in, is it Sand Springs? What's right here? Sandy. I bought it in Sandy, like last year. And then they switched ownership, and then they lost my title. So I'm still waiting on a title for that van. Can you believe that?
I saw you didn't have a license.
Yeah, I've been on the phone with so many people over the past 9 months. And I'm like, yeah, we filed for a duplicate title. You'll have it in 6 weeks. It's been a lot longer than that. Yeah, anyway.
Can you also play Heaven by the Night?
I could try to mess it up. Let me try to play this one first.
Okay.
Any other questions before I move on here?
I got a good question. I don't know if I should ask now or at the end. It's a good one.
Well, if it's good.
It's a good one, or
Yeah, ask it. Ask it. Okay. So here you are. You're traveling. You're playing music about Jesus. You're living your life purpose that you're saying that like God led you to. That, and you got a talent here. What is your advice for the average person, for everyone, for finding and fulfilling our individual life purposes?
You said it was a good question, not the hardest question ever.
Going deep.
Wow. Obviously, it doesn't matter if you have decided that you're not going to do it or not, because I decided not to do it, okay? If God has something that he keeps kind of pressing on your heart, persuading you, bringing certain people into your path, that you're like, is that weird? Can you believe that was crazy, right? We all have those moments. We all have those things like that you can't describe that in a way that is logical. That doesn't make sense. And so then it's one of those things of where I think that God gives everyone certain gifts, you know what I mean? And a lot of times we don't think certain things are gifts. I mean, being nice to people, being kind, we don't see that as a gift, but it is, because almost everyone is mean and rude, right? And so I think that when he keeps kind of impressing this upon you and he brings these people into your life, and one of the things is like that Bob Goff says is like, find something you enjoy to do and do a lot of that. You know what I mean? Like do that a lot. Or something that you're good at, do that a lot. And so I think if you make a decision, it's like, I want to do this, and if it is absent of God, by no means should you do it. But if it's someone's like, I would really like to do this, I can use this to bring glory to God, by all means run with it and do it. I mean, that could be anything. You can work at a gas station and be nice to people, show them Jesus. You could be a carpenter, of course, and you could be a designer, you could be an artist, you could be a musician, all of it. You don't have to have some kind of title that defines what it is that you actually do. We should probably each start with like, I want to be cordial to people. I want to be nice to that guy that's super annoying. I want to show him something different, because Christianity means Christ-like, and therefore that's being way different than like the rest of the world and who we really are. So we need to try to strive to do that. I hope that helps in some way. I just think that's the hardest question.
Amen.
Yeah.
Any question before? Yeah.
How long did it take you to write your first song?
First song was definitely not good. I'm trying to think what the first song actually was. Because we kind of started this youth group band because they let us play the lock-ins that we had, and in the beginning we would play 2 songs over and over and over and over again, and one of them had no lyrics. And the only lighting, this is before anyone knew that they had an issue with a strobe light. That's all we would have on is a strobe light for an hour straight. But I think the first song was called "Forever and a Day." Because I didn't know what in the world I was doing. I wouldn't name something that now, but I remember we recorded it. This guy who had a studio, he's like, yeah, I'll give you guys 3 hours of recording time. So we went in and recorded 3 songs in 3 hours, and you could tell, like, it was not great. But we were like, this is crazy, we're in the studio. That band didn't do much. We played some youth groups and some school assemblies or whatever. But Forever and a Day, I think, was the first song. Other than a song called Spray, which had no lyrics.
Can you play a snippet of Forever and a Day?
I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to.
That's okay.
No, I've tried to forget that.
And succeeded.
What?
And succeeded.
No, I could probably play it. Yes, in the back.
I'm Jerry's mom.
Yes, see you later. Bye. Bye.
Let me just tell you that I grew up with a different generation music, and I want you to know that there's a couple of quartets out there that are amazing. And if you like harmony, don't just listen to the single stuff, but go and listen to Home Free and listen to the Gaither Vocal Band. They're awesome.
I've heard them so much.
They're awesome. Of all the harmony I've ever heard in my life, and I've heard a lot,
Yeah.
they have the best. As a kid, I grew up in a family Christian band.
Yeah.
I played the bass fiddle. I mean, I was 5 years old on a box playing. But I learned to love the harmonies of the church music, and that's still my very favorite music. But what's funny is, when these kids were growing up, and I got 4 of my 7 here, they wouldn't listen to Christian music for a squat because it was my music, you know? And they hated it. I could never get them to, and then it's really funny.
And then they started adding like guitars and drums and good lyrics.
I understand that it's really kind of fun that now, a generation later, my kids have come back to my Christian roots, and they're listening to music that, you know,
Well, let's hear your harmony.
Here, go, Mom.
I got some girls that can harmonize with you.
Would you be free from your burden of sin? There's power in the blood, power in the blood.
Come on, Mom. Louder. Woo!
There's wonderful power in the blood. There is power, power, wonder-working power.
Hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. Woo! I'll fly away, oh glory, fly away. And I'll die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. I think they need through it all. I think they need it.
Okay.
They need it.
Thanks again for letting me be here.
Thanks for coming.